This is our real-life Montessori bedroom for my 3.5-year-old twins, and I am going to show you around. Hello and welcome. My name is Emma. I am a mom of twin boys, as I just shared with you. They are currently 3.5 years old, and we've been implementing Montessori principles in our home since the boys were born. I was a Montessori teacher previously, and I still think of myself as one. And I prepare my home in a very intentional Montessori way. And so I'm going to show you around the boys' bedrooms and just share with you how I've set it up at this stage of development for them, and how it's really been so helpful to have an intentionally prepared space that they can rest peacefully and that they can come to each afternoon for a couple of hours for quiet time. And I'm going to share about how we've pulled that off with 3.5-year-olds to build in this time in our routine and in our schedule each day. Let me show you around. All right, here we are right outside of the boys' bedroom. And part of it actually starts out here. So I'm going to show you what I have set up in the hallway that is kind of an extension of their room, but I like that it's not in their bedroom. When you come up our stairs, we have this little landing space at the top of the stairs. And here I keep the boys' laundry hamper and a drying rack. One thing that I've noticed about having a hamper that closes is it's just so much more visually appealing to have things contained where I can't see them. I know there's dirty clothes in there, but I don't actually see the dirty clothes, so it makes it feel so much cleaner up here. This little drying rack is just sweet. If they have like an accident, this is where we put clothes, or if they have wet clothes from our playtime, I have them put it on here. I'm going to bring you into the boys' room and show you a couple areas. Just keep in mind, my boys are 3.5 years old. So this room looks very different than it did when they were babies, young toddlers. I can have a lot more out and accessible at this point in their life, just because they are safe with things that I wasn't able to have so open back in the day. So I will put some links to previous bedroom tours that I've done in case you want to see what a bedroom would look like, maybe at different stages and younger ages, because it definitely has changed quite a lot. Welcome to our Montessori-inspired, cozy bedroom for our twin boys. I've made some changes recently to this room. I brought up this large bookshelf that is an Ikea shelf to store all of our books. This had previously been downstairs in our sunroom, and I like it so much better here. I just think it fits the space better. So this is where I have all of our children's books as well as some toys. So I'll kind of show you what I have over there. I've used the top of this bookshelf for kind of particular books that we don't use very frequently. So I've got my collection of chapter books started, some books that will be for homeschool down the road. These are books here in this little cubby for different holidays or like particular events. And then over in that back corner is all of my Christmas books. So books that I will rotate in at various times. And then the rest of them really are accessible for any time for them. I've just kind of done hardcover books, all my paperback books, and then board books down here at the bottom. I keep the toys super simple in their rooms. So here's what we have in here. This is baby dolls and stuffed animals. Just one bin of them. Here are all of our musical instruments. This is my miscellaneous basket with like balls and Just the toys, I only have like one of things. So it's a little bit more random, but I find it helpful to have one place to put those random toys. And this one is mostly empty, but some of our boy toys. I definitely think one of the easiest ways to create coziness in a bedroom is with lamps. And I have four. I have a little bit of an obsession with lamps, but I have 4 lamps in this bedroom, and I think it just softens the lighting. I can turn on lamps during quiet time or rest time in the afternoon and not the big overhead lights, and kind of just make it really peaceful and calming, as well as when we're getting the boys ready for bed. I really like the option of just having lamps on as the lighting. Another very important part of a bedroom are the beds. And we have been using floor beds with the boys since they were babies. Actually, both of the boys don't sleep in this room together. We have one other bedroom for one of them, and at the moment they sleep in separate bedrooms still, just because their sleep patterns are just a little bit different, and it gives them both, I think, the best night of sleep. I do anticipate sometime soon, probably within the next year, we would put them into the same room, but for now we haven't needed to, and so they do sleep in separate rooms. So I'm going to show you that other bedroom in just a little bit, but let me show you what beds are in here. All right, we recently just got these beds from Piccalio. They are beautiful beds, and what's really cool about them is it's like a 2-in-1 bed. So we have this bed for one of the boys set up as the floor bed currently, but then as they get older, just flip that up for you, it flips into the flip bed to be a little bit bigger for an older child. I did a whole review of the Piccalio bed Montessori bed that I will link up here in the cards for you. But they are beautiful beds. They just align so well with what we are trying to do in our home, allowing for freedom, but also it creates just a really beautiful, intentional space for sleep. I just was so impressed when we got the beds all set up, how cozy it made the room, how inviting, how welcoming for a child to come and sleep in this bed. So we've been loving this floor bed from Piccalio. There's a lot of added safety features with the safety rail. You can customize it more with a headboard or these beautiful book hooks, which is really nice to just cuddle in. One thing I really have loved about using a floor bed is just how easy it is to climb into bed with our boys, lay down with them when they're going to sleep, to snuggle and read books. When they were little, I was able to just climb in and nurse them and then kind of sneak away, undisturbing their sleep, not needing to like pick them up and move them around in the middle of the night. And that was so, so helpful. I couldn't recommend a floor bed more. So that is a keystone to a Montessori-inspired bedroom, is just offering this freedom of movement to our children. Right here behind me is our Montessori wardrobe. This was a DIY that I did back when the boys were pretty little, when their clothes kind of got too big for our first little Montessori wardrobe with their newborn and like baby clothes. And this has been really good, and I find that it'll probably fit and meet the needs for many years to come. I'm going to show you around this, but what I've liked about having a specific like wardrobe, because we don't have much storage in this house, this closet in their bedroom is used just for like storage of extra toys and gift wrap and all like storagey things. And I don't keep clothes in there. And so I've liked having a clothing storage place in the bedroom that is easily accessible and easy to maintain. It's also been able to support them in being independent and getting dressed, because they can access everything all by themselves, which is super helpful. And so let me show you what we've got over here. One of the changes we made to this was just adding a little bit of this adorable safari wallpaper as an accent. I have a little bit of touch up to do, as they've kind of pulled it a little bit, but it's just makes it really sweet and kid-friendly. Another thing I really like is having a mirror in our space. The fact that this is built into the dresser is really nice, but you could get a mirror like freestanding to hang up on the wall. I just think it's important for children to be able to see what they look like when they're getting dressed. You can just point things out that way. One change we made when we DIY'd this was I just took out the shelving that was in here and we installed curtain rods. And so we have 2 hanging rods here. Now they can pretty much reach both of them, but when they were little, they would be able to just access the bottom. And so I could put just a few choices down below and then keep the bulk of it on the upper hanging rack. Now we kind of just use the top for church clothes and their dressier clothes, and down below is sweatshirts. And I'm actually doing nicer shirts here. I've decided to just keep all the hanging clothes as our nicer pieces of clothing and sweatshirts. So for like particular events, because for the spring and summer months, I want getting dressed and getting changed into like new dry clothes if they get wet outside or dirty, super easy. So I just have this basket. This is from Ikea. And I just have extra shirts and shorts and just all their play clothes in here so that they can easily get dressed in the summertime. So this dresser has 4 drawers, which has worked well. So in this bottom drawer, I keep sweatpants, socks, and underwear. This drawer is pants and like dress pants, or for the summer I've done dress shorts. I try to fold things when I put them away, but if it gets unfolded, I'm not too worried about it. This drawer is for all of their pajamas. This top drawer is pull-ups for nighttime, some wipes just in case. I keep their belts and like bow ties. I've just kept thicker out of season socks up here. Maybe we'll need them if we go on a camping trip or something, but they will still fit them in the winter. So I'm just keeping them in here. And just some extra lotions and creams in here. I added this basket on the top here. I had done this before to just keep a basket for clothes that get too small. And so if I notice a shirt or shorts or something that's too small for the boys, I will just put it in this basket and hold on to it there until I change out the new season. And this has been helpful to just have a place for those to go so they don't stay in their rotation of clothing. But I also don't like having to always put things back into our larger totes for storing clothes more than once a season. We got this rocking horse at an auction, and it just makes the most sense to have in a bedroom. The boys actually use it a lot, so that's been pretty fun. I've loved always having a chair somewhere to sit. This was the chair I would nurse them in the nursery. I like this one because it swivels, but it also rocks back and forth. So that was really nice to have something that did both. I wish it had like a higher back, especially when I was nursing them. It was kind of not the coziest chair in the middle of the night. The last area in this room to show you is toys and toy storage. Other than those 4 baskets I showed you, I keep those up here just because, well, I don't have a good space to store them downstairs and they make sense to keep in here. All I've been keeping in here is Playmobil, pretty much. That is kind of the biggest type of toy that the boys have. Something that they have the most of, and they play with it like all of the time. So I'm going to kind of just show you how I've organized this bookshelf, and yeah, keeping it pretty simple. I think my goal in preparing this environment for them is that they can help to like maintain it, that it's clear enough, organized enough, simple enough that they could come in here and know where things go and where to find things. Will they always put things away all on their own? No, they won't. But when it's time to clean up our room or put our things away, they know where they go. it has a clear spot, and it's not too much to manage. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that in here. This bookshelf I found on Marketplace. It's a pretty nice one. I had books on it at first, but then I ran out of space for my books, so I had to upgrade it to a bigger bookshelf. I'm gonna turn you around and show you what we've got. The top shelf, those are just some little sweet materials, like church playing. This is a little church that has little guys. I'll see if I can find a link. It was a gift from the boys' godparents, as well as here. This is a little mass set, which is just so sweet. I have those out on the top shelf. Here's some Playmobil fun. This was Playmobil of my husband's when he was growing up. And then the boys have been getting some pieces this last year for their birthday and Christmas. And then I just have all the little pieces in there. So Playmobil is a lot of little pieces, but I just find it's so fun for them. It's so realistic, you know, like all the people are real people in the world that they see. And they just love it. They play with this every single day. And there's a couple more of their Playmobil vehicles. I thrifted and revamped this little rocking chair, which is super sweet. And then we just keep their Yoto players here. We love Yoto players. So I talked about how every day we have a time of like quiet time. The boys are no longer napping, which has been good because I feel like they sleep better at night. Some days they do nap, like if they're really tired or they've woken up pretty early, they'll nap. But most days they don't. And so after lunchtime, I have them go up to quiet time and they're in their room. I do actually my expectation is that they stay in their room. This is a time for me to get some of my work done. I find it really helpful for them to have just quiet time away from one another where they're not interacting. They're kind of together all day long, and that has its challenges. And so it's been really good for them to just have this quiet alone time in their room to play. And so most of the time they'll play with Playmobil, they'll look at books. But the other thing that I have available during quiet time is a Yoto player. If you don't know what a Yoto player is, it's this little player. It's kind of like, it's amazing. But there's these little cards.
A book for all the stops in your life. Based on the original Little Engine That Could by Waddy. I knew you could. And
there's music cards. They have some headphones that clip in and that you can listen to it. What I love about it is they can sit and listen to stories or music, and it's all can be done independently. There's like a tiny little screen here where they can see like a picture of something. Like usually it'll show a picture of the instrument or something related to the story. They can turn it up and down. They can pause it all by themselves. So each of the boys have a Yoto player that they use every couple days in quiet time. Okay, well that is the tour of one of the boys' bedrooms. Now I'm gonna take you into the other little bedroom. This one's a lot smaller, even simpler than this one, but I think it's really, really sweet. All right, so this is the bedroom I just showed you. And then there's this small little hallway. This green door is our bathroom. And then here's this little bedroom. You maybe saw my bedroom refresh of this space. It was pretty bad before. It was like an orange. So now it's so peaceful and calming and just really welcoming and inviting for our son. We keep it really simple in here. There's just Playmobil and books. So all those drawers have Playmobil in it. I think one of the drawers is actually empty to make room for something else soon. Have this little step stool just for his Yoto player, water bottle. The sweet little buck pillow. I got a little rug for this room just to make it a little bit cozier and welcoming, just a little place to play. I had found these prints thrifting a while ago, and they are just perfect in this space. They're so sweet. I also found this little desk while I was thrifting, and it's been nice to just have a little place. There's some coloring books in there, just a little place for my son to sit and color while he's in quiet time or whenever. This room to me is just one of my favorites in our house, and what I love about it is I think I took the time to put a few pieces together to really like finish it with artwork and decor and just like little things where it feels complete. Like I have not changed anything in here since we redid it, and I don't feel the need to change anything in here. And I find that once you know, like once you like it and you just are like, that's it, that's how I want it, it stays that way. But until I get to that point, I tend to switch things around. So this room definitely feels complete, and like this is probably how it will stay for a while. I can't fit anything else in here really. I don't really want to put anything more in here where it would feel too cluttered or like too much. And I think what's in here is just perfect. This picture is from Home Goods. And what I like about it, I don't think it's a real painting, but there's parts of it that have a little bit of texture. So it looks kind of like an old painting. I think this is a Van Gogh. And I love that these things are just coming back into style. I just think it's beautiful. All right, you guys, well, that is the Montessori bedroom tour for my 3.5-year-olds. I hope you found this fun, I don't know, helpful. And I don't know, just a few like tips or thoughts on how to create this like cozy, inviting environment, especially like specifically a bedroom environment. I said it earlier, but lamps, I just think add such like a softness to a space. I think that goes for anywhere in the home. I'm a little obsessed with lamps, but I just love them. And what I found is when I've like bought lamps that I absolutely love, I keep them. Like I hold on to them for such a long time. The ones in my bedroom are these beautiful lamps. They're like rectangle shades with this like these birds. And I just love them, and they bring me so much joy, and I love turning them on, and they bring light into our home, and they bring light. Sorry, turning the brightness down. Speaking of light, lamps just bring so much brightness and brightness, softness, lightness. I don't know. They're just so cozy. So lamps would be like my number one. If you don't have a lamp in your child's bedroom, I would put one in. If you have definitely like a younger child, maybe finding one that isn't breakable. We had like it was like kind of wicker at the bottom. Light bulb was plastic and things, so nothing would break if they like pulled it down. I'm not worried about them doing that in here, but most of them I think are still just like wooden. A rug has made this space feel so much cozier. This rug is getting a little gross. I need to get like a carpet cleaner and scrub it, but it still makes it really cozy. It makes just like an inviting place to come and play. Putting things at their level, so having a chair that's their size, artwork at their eye level is helpful. Just making their things accessible, giving them a place so that they know where things are. Like this is their bedroom, and so we want to prepare it in a way that they know how to interact with it, that they know how to care for this space. And that's something that I'm kind of working on now at this stage of life, is once a week kind of resetting their bedroom and cleaning it with them, doing a little dusting and running a vacuum through, and kind of just resetting toys so that it remains and continues to be a really beautiful, welcoming, inviting space. I will put as many links down in the description box below as I can to things that I talked about, especially the beds from Piccalio. I'll put a link down there for you to check those out, as well as the review video I did if you're looking for a bed for your child. A lot of these things though, I find adding charm and character comes through just like unique pieces that I find while I'm out thrifting or garage sailing. I love looking for pieces that way, and I think it's what adds so much character to these spaces. Well, you guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.